Hello, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. We have a very special segment today with two young individuals who are in our office because it's Take Your Kids to Work Day. And I want to do a little bit of due diligence on what these kids are learning in their schools about finance and the stock market. So before I get into that, I want to introduce my friends here. And what is your name?
Annabella Bean.
And what is your name over here?
Radica Bean.
Okay, so both of you are sitting here, and your ages?
9.
And your ages?
10, almost to 11.
Okay, I have a first question for you. Do either of you guys get an allowance?
No.
You don't get an allowance. Do you think you deserve an allowance?
Yes.
What would give you the right to get an allowance? What do you think you can get an allowance for?
Doing our chores.
Okay, so if you work, you think you should get paid.
Yes.
Okay, and what would you do with your money if you got paid an allowance?
I would save it.
All right, look at that. Young youth of America, she wants to work, she wants to get paid, and she wants to save her money. Now, you're a little older, so do you get an allowance?
No.
No allowance. Do you get, okay. Do you think that you should? Do you think that you do enough chores around the house that you should earn a little bit of a paycheck?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to talk to your parents and see why you guys aren't getting allowances. Well, how about this? Do you have everything that you want?
Yes.
Okay. So you know what? You don't need an allowance because you're getting taken care of. But I think it's a very good concept to want to work and get paid in allowance, because as you get older, you're gonna work, you're gonna get paid, and you're gonna hopefully do what Bella says and save. Now, if you just say we're saving your money, okay, and you want to buy something big, what would it be?
Probably a pet.
Yeah! You want to buy a pet. And what about you?
Legos.
Legos, okay.
I'm a big fan of Legos.
Now, why do you like Legos?
Because it can make time fly, and it can increase my creativity.
Okay, so I think Legos are good. Building blocks, okay? What I want to do now is I want to do a quick little lesson. I know you guys aren't in school today, but I feel like, I could give you guys a little bit of lesson on the stock market, okay? And what we do here in order to, use our saved money to potentially trade and make money with it. So I'm going to draw, okay, a pattern, and I want you to tell me what it is, okay? And raise your hand if whoever knows it first, say, I know it, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to look over here at this chart. This is a chart of the S&P 500. Basically, the best names in the world are in this index. And right here, there is a pattern, okay? It looks very familiar to something that you might already know. What does this look like to you guys? What does it look like to you, Annabelle? Does it look like a circle?
No.
Does it look like a
Mountain.
Okay, it could look like a mountain. What about, does it look like a rectangle?
No.
Does it look, does it look like a triangle?
Kind of.
A little bit, right? It looks like a little bit of a triangle, right? And basically, in the stock market, we look at patterns because that's what helps us predict movement. So right here, you see this triangle in the stock market? Right there. Maybe it looks a little bit more like a triangle now. What do you think happens if it breaks above this triangle? Does it go higher? It could, right? And that would be very bullish. There are bulls and bears in the stock market, and bulls want the stock market to go up, and the bears want the stock market to go, what would you think?
Down.
All right, so if you're feeling bullish, what do you think you're feeling?
Happy.
Okay, I think, people like when their market goes up. People like when, their savings they invest in the market goes up, so it's a happy feeling. Now, if you're feeling bearish...
Sad.
Right, because what are you probably doing? If you have money in the stock market and things are going down, why would you think you'd feel sad?
Because you're losing money.
Yes. Okay. And nobody likes to lose money. But sometimes, you have to, as long as you do it responsibly. Okay. I want to ask you a question, too. Can you name 2 companies you think might be in that S&P 500? What does mommy use every day to talk and communicate with daddy when they're not together?
A phone.
What kind of phone does mommy have?
iPhone 6.
What company is that? You're almost there. Want to help her?
Apple.
Okay. So right there, okay, you have a useful device that your mom has. She probably has iPhone 6, so she might someday get an iPhone 8. She's probably had a few. And, chances are, if she's buying an iPhone, do you think other people would have an iPhone?
Yes.
So what does that possibly mean?
They're gonna bullish.
Bullish, right, exactly. Do you know what phone that she might have had back in the day? Did she ever have a BlackBerry? I think she had a BlackBerry, and then all of a sudden,
Phone.
she had a flip phone. Oh my God, that's Motorola. That's way gone. Okay, so basically, all of a sudden, that company, you see nobody with flip phones. So what do you think happens to the stock? Does it go up or go down?
Bearish.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding. You guys, if I was paying for this type of scenario, you guys would just get a few dollars each. How much do you think a right answer deserves?
$1.
All right, $1. I can go with that. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's talk about a little politics. Politics and the market go together. Do you know who the president of the United States is now?
Trump.
Trump. Okay. You know who was the previous president?
Barack Obama.
Okay. Do you know which party President Trump is? A Republican, a Democrat, in the middle? No, do you?
Democrat?
Close. He's a Republican. Do you know the difference between a Republican and a Democrat?
No.
Okay, well, we're not going to go over that here because you can't talk politics at the dinner table and you can't talk politics with kids. But it's good that you do know who the President of the United States is. Now, if you were to ask me a question, okay, and if you want to, which both of you can, about the stock market, what would you want to ask me? Anything. Okay, I'm gonna go over here while you think about it.
What was the question again?
Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have it on this paper I have.
Oh, you wrote it down. You're prepared.
What is the most important thing that kids should know about trading?
About trading. Okay, that's a good question. Perhaps the first thing you should know is that trading is hard and trading takes time. Just like you said, you like to build on Legos, right?
Yes.
Did you have to practice it before you could build a structure with Legos?
Not really.
Not really, you're just a natural? You just built a house with 10 floors, right? The first Lego set that you got?
Yeah, I just followed the instructions.
Okay, well, there's instructions with Legos and there's instructions with trading. There's a method and there's a way to do it. So I would say that what kids should know about trading or more about the stock market is it's just like you said, with an allowance, it's savings, okay? It's a way to put money away for the long term. So this way, when you get older, okay, you can then do what with your money?
Spend it. Or save it.
Okay, you can spend it, you can save it. It's a vehicle to save for retirement. Do you have and your parents, do you have grandparents?
Yes.
Okay, and do they work anymore?
I don't know.
Probably not. So what you want to do when you're a child or when you get a little bit older, you want to learn how to invest in the stock market because that could help you when you get older for your retirement. Okay, and do you think that one day you'll go to college?
Yes.
Do you know what college you want to go to?
No.
Name 3 colleges that you've ever heard of?
I haven't heard of one.
You know Harvard?
Yes.
Do you know Yale?
No.
Okay. Are there any colleges on your horizon that you think you might want to go to?
I never heard of a college.
Okay. Well, college is something and someplace you're going to want to go to in order to advance and get a job. So then this way you could work, you could save money, and then you can invest it and live your life. So here I am with the youth of America that are hopefully going to start doing a lot more chores so you can what?
So you could save it.
Get an allowance and save some money so you could buy the things that you want. And here we have a young entrepreneur who could build with Legos, who thinks that all you have to do is read the instructions and you can get bigger and more sophisticated. And in time, we'll work hard enough to then get into college, right? And look for the right place to go. So do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
A taste critic.
A taste critic. Do you like food?
Yes.
What's your favorite food?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. So do you like hot sauce or mild?
Mild.
Okay, so you want to taste chicken wings and give you a report on them and then figure out, what restaurants would have the best chicken wings.
Yes.
Okay, and so what would you like to be when you grow up?
I want to be a few things.
A few things. You haven't narrowed it down yet? What would you like to be?
A veterinarian, a chef, and a singer, and a horseback rider.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. That's a very diversified. I think you could almost be a little bit of each. When I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian also. Do you like animals?
Yes.
And is that why you want to have an allowance and get a pet?
Yes.
Okay, and do you sing now?
Sometimes.
What's your favorite artist?
Her name is, one of them's named Zed.
Zed? Okay. Do you know who Shawn Mendes is? That's my son's favorite artist stuff. So, you have a favorite song you like to sing?
Yes.
Well, you want to sing it for us? No. Okay, you don't have to. This is putting you on the spot. Okay. All four of those things are attainable. So, at this point, I want to thank you for coming into the studio and introducing yourself to the T3 Live audience. And I think in about 3 years or so, I'm going to have them come back and we'll see what kind of progress they have made on learning about the stock market, about maybe what school they might want to go to, and maybe what they might want to be when they get older. And what we have to do is we have to develop very good habits in order to get there. All right? And the next time, prepare a song to sing? Yeah! No. Okay. All right, thanks for coming. Good job. Good job.